Something that. All right, what's going on, everyone? I am ND Sean 45.
I'm Irish Benjamin 57.
And together we make up the two Irish brothers, and it's been a little 2-week hiatus, but we are back and we are ready to roll with some more live shows. So it's great to be back. And Ben, how was your trip last week?
It was pretty good. It was a very, very fast and eventful trip, but we were able to do what we had to do and reveal to the family what we're having and all that. So yeah, I'm just chugging along, and life is kind of returning, at least our area back to normal. After this crazy year and a half almost at this point that we've had the pandemic. So yeah, we went to our first movie last night for the first time since the pandemic started, in theater and all that, which was awesome. Nice to get out and see people out and about. So yeah.
Yeah, what'd you see?
We went and saw Raya and the Last Dragon. It's the newest Disney movie on the market.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen ads for it. Yeah.
It was really, really good. 5 stars, a masterpiece. Had a really, really good message. I will let people find out what that message is, and I truly believe that we need what they were talking about in this world. So, I loved every second of it. Can't wait to see it again. Definitely adding it to our collection. So yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Hey, Carnivore, it's been a while since we've seen you, bud. Welcome. Crimson Brave. Dwayne, as always, nice to see you here, dude. The Tyler Buckner guy. Hopefully you're the real deal and not some troll.
We have a very morbid show, actually. What's the topics today, boys? Yeah, pretty morbid show, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, first off, something that I wanted to address, and this is something that's definitely very important to Ben and I, and of course it may not mean much to you guys watching, but it's important to us, and hopefully people from the page are watching. I mean, I know it doesn't show in the number of views that we have or the number of people watching, but of course, as you and I both know, that's kind of a flawed number anyway, because there could be actually a lot more people watching than what you think. But anyway, so Ben and I have officially been on the air, I guess if you'd want to call it that, for a full year now. And actually, I was looking through our videos. We've actually already passed that. Our first video was like late January last year, so we're a good year and 2 months after that. But anyway, guys, I'm rambling. Sorry. When you start a new channel and you want to try to take it places, what's one of the obvious things that you do? You hit up places like message boards and Twitter, Facebook, whatever, trying to get yourself out there. Well, one of the places that we started posting all our material on was a Facebook page called Love the Notre Dame, private group on Facebook. We've been posting on there for I don't know, probably good 9-10 months or so, and so not quite the full time we've been on YouTube, but that page has always been awesome to us. The owner, well, I guess I don't know if he's the creator, but he was the head administrator. He did create that page.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, John Pusick, or Pusick, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He had always been cool to us, always let us post our stuff. Was very generous, because a lot of message boards and pages don't like that. They don't like you posting your videos
in a way.
Yeah, taking advantage. They don't usually allow that. But John and Love the Notre Dame was always cool with us for letting us do that, and knew that we were trying to put ourselves out there and build our fan base and all that. So it was really always nice of him to do that. Well, we just got news that last week John unexpectedly passed away.
Yes.
I don't know exactly what the cause was. We never really talked to him, but just except for only through comments and whatnot. But he always sounded like a good dude, and
he had some history, some medical issues and stuff. So I know about 5 months ago he was in the hospital for about a week. with some related issues. So I wonder if that happened. But
It
yeah,
it could have.
fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, his family has not said much. So that's really all we know. But yeah, definitely very, very sad to hear his passing. A true Notre Dame guy, embodied the Notre Dame spirit, the sense of community, the sense of family, the sense of taking care of one another. That was him. So very, very sad to hear his passing.
Yeah, and Ben and I would just like to, if anybody is watching from that page, we'd like to extend our sympathy and our respect to John, and we just we have nothing but prayers for his family. So all I can say is, John, I know you're watching from up above and in spirit. Thank you for everything, and also to the new guy who took over. I think his name's Vince. I hope that we can still post on there, and all I can say is run the page well, my friend.
Yeah,
so
big shoes to fill.
So John Puskic, hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. May he rest in peace, and we thank him for everything that he did for us.
Yeah.
And speaking of that and the Notre Dame family, some other unfortunate, sad news. And this was a big shock to everybody in the Notre Dame family. Former defensive tackle Louis Nix unexpectedly passed away too at the age of 29.
Yes.
And I don't want to speculate too much, but the official word is a car accident. That's what happened. And this is just a real like I said, a big time shock to the Notre Dame family, because Louis Nix, he was always that guy who always had a smile on his face, was always trying to make you laugh. I mean, his nickname was Irish Chocolate.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy just, he had a YouTube series that he did for a little bit called Chocolate News, and just he always lightened up the place whenever you saw him on TV or in the interview room, whatever. And it was quite a shocker.
Yeah, no, definitely. He'd actually just recently, I do believe he was the one that got shot just recently too. So, just a string of bad luck. So yeah, it's very, very sad. With what happened with him, and taken way too soon, and it's kind of that old saying, only the good die young. So, I mean, it's pretty sad day in Notre Dame country, that's for sure.
Yes, it really is sad, but just 29, I mean, such a young age.
Yeah.
I mean, he got I mean, yeah, maybe his NFL career didn't work out, but he had such a great life ahead of him. I mean, you get that. I'm not trying to say that it's more important than any other degrees, but you get that Notre Dame degree, you have a big chance to go places with your life.
Yeah.
But of course, obviously the Ivy League schools are number one in that category. But all I know is Louis had a real bright future ahead of him, and it's really sad to see it cut short like this.
Yeah.
And I think, and I mean, obviously he's not the first one that, the first player that we followed for so many years whose life was cut short so quick, but he's the one who really surprises me.
Yeah.
Because you just don't expect that from a guy like him, with the bright personality that he had. And
yeah, but I mean, if it's a car accident, it can happen to anybody.
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I'm just saying his was the biggest shock, is what I'm saying. That's all.
No, yeah.
So again, we hate starting off the show by this, but we extend our thoughts and prayers to the Nix family as well.
Yes.
But anyway, so the Tyler Buckner fan wants, like you said, he wants to know what the topic is. We really try to sit down and plan this, but to be honest with you guys, we just go on the fly for the most part.
Yeah, we have we have we have a few topics that we hit, that we want to hit. And then coming into the show, we knew about Louis, and we knew about John, and we knew about the next topic that we'll be talking about. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like Sean said, we do it on the fly, and we take questions and all that, and that's on the fly. We don't expect any of that. So, but yeah, yes, Buckner. Man, Notre Dame with basketball this year, they just Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Man, they have the potential to be really, really good. That they clearly can do what they need to do at times, but just a very underachieving team this year. I just, that beating Florida State yesterday night was just a shocker to me. I thought they had no chance. But
I didn't see the game, but yeah, that's what I've been saying all along about the Notre Dame men's team is that, you look at their schedule. I mean, they have with the majority of their games particularly in the losses, they have really battled. They've stuck around with some elite talent. Now, have there been a few games where they did get blown out? Yes, but for the most part, these kids have been playing their asses off and staying in the game.
Yeah.
But of course, we had the game last week against Syracuse where we blew a 20-point lead, and well, that really doesn't help much. But that just goes back into the factor of it being a Jekyll and Hyde team.
Yeah. Yep.
But I just think we need to, get some more talent in there. And Mike Bray is a very good coach. I mean, he's the kind of coach that, he's not a coach that gets all these one and done guys like John Calipari and Coach K and so on. He has to develop his guys. And he takes a lot of these guys and turns them into solid gold. I mean, look what he did a few years ago with back-to-back Elite Eight appearances. I mean, they took John Calipari and Kentucky to the wire, and so yeah, that says a lot about Mike Bray as a coach, and actually Buckner, I would give him more than just a year. I mean, that guy could coach into his 70s if he wanted to.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with all that and that whole situation surrounding Bray, but yeah, talking about since we have Tyler Buckner, future Heisman winner, chatting with us. Speaking of Irish quarterbacks, we have something else that we wanted to hit on pretty quickly, don't we, Sean?
Yes. Now this is quite a few years down the road yet. Because myself personally, I can't speak for everybody, but when you're talking about recruiting classes that are a year or two down the road yet, I try to keep myself grounded and not read too much into it, but I'll be excited for now. The Notre Dame class of 2022, I believe it is. Yeah, class of 2022, they picked up a quarterback, Steve Angeli, pro-style quarterback out of New Jersey, 6'3", 215 pounds. So, three-star recruit, but that is a huge pickup for our quarterback depth, which is lacking right now.
Yes, and he comes from a very, very solid program in high school. It's Bergeron Catholic, and Bergeron Catholic puts out a lot of big name guys. And if you want to have one name that kind of sticks out, especially for Notre Dame fans, you can just mention Brian Cushing, who played his college ball at Southern Cal and ended up playing into the NFL with the Houston Texans. And Brian Cushing is one of the only players other than R.G. Griffin to play in 4 straight Rose Bowls and win 4 straight Rose Bowls. And he came from Bergeron Catholic. So, yeah, Bergeron Catholic really can pump out the talent. So, he's a 3-star, but, I'm not a big, you have to be 5 stars to be great. You have to be, this or that. It is a situation where he can grow as a quarterback, and I look forward to seeing Angeli with the Fighting Irish.
Well, the thing is, he's definitely going to make the quarterback battle interesting in the next couple of years, because obviously I still do believe that Jack Cohn is going to be our starter for this upcoming season. But then after that, it also depends too if Drew Pine stays or not. But you'll have 3 quarterbacks, and we'll just say that we'll say that everybody stays in place. Drew
Yeah.
Pine, Tyler Buckner, and then when Angeli gets here. And of course we can't forget about Ron Paulus III either.
Yeah.
You know, because he's a legacy. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see that quarterback battle. But of course, I think by that time, I think it'll be Buckner's job to lose when that time comes.
Yep, you never know. I mean, it just, it all depends on who, comes out in camp and impresses and can get the playbook down. Other than, I mean, to me right now, Pine has the most knowledge in the quarterback room, and we haven't really seen enough to know talent-wise, but I definitely agree with you. I think Cone is the obvious clear-cut starter. I mean, you don't transfer to a school like he does without getting some immediate playing time. So something clearly was said behind closed doors, to him to persuade him to come. I mean, because when you come to Notre Dame, it's not like you get to go to a lot of other schools and just get to play football. I mean, Notre Dame's an academic institution. So when it comes to football players, for better or for worse, depending on what side of the fence, you're on. So with that topic, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And the thing is, I mean, it's so tough to predict because, all these guys want to play right away.
Right.
And it just wouldn't surprise me if somebody does transfer, because you're not going to want to stay on the bench forever. Right. But yeah, anyway, looking at the comments here, I can see Crimson Brave and Dwayne don't give two squats about what we're talking about here. They're talking about Alabama recruiting news, but I wouldn't expect anything less from them. But Craig, what's up? Welcome aboard. But as far as the quarterback situation, Notre Dame, Buckner Heisman winner mentions Brendan Clark. Listen, I'm not bad mouthing the kid. I'm sure he's a great guy and all that, but I don't see him being the answer at all because he has bad legs. He's been hurt, So
and him saying, Pine is too small or so small. I shouldn't say too small. I mean, I don't think height should have any bearing on anything. I mean, Chris Leak was tiny and he won championships with Florida in the SEC, mind you. Russell Wilson, played wonderful for two schools and then on into the pros, and he was undersized. Drew Brees, who's one of the best quarterbacks of our era, is undersized, and he's an elite NFL quarterback. So, I mean, size doesn't mean anything, in my opinion.
Well, look at guys like Doug Flutie. I mean, yeah, when he was young, when Mike Ditka brought him to the Bears, yeah, when you put him under center and you have him not being able to see over the line, then yeah, that's a problem. But when you put him on a shotgun, he was able to have a lot of success, especially in Canada. And he did have some success in the NFL as well. Not much, but some is better than none. So you got to give him credit where credit's due.
I'm going to take it to a side for a second.
Sure.
Since we got March Madness coming, a very interesting story that I saw yesterday, getting ready to watch some college basketball. There is a player that plays for UMBC, which is University of Maryland, Baltimore County, I think is what the C stands for. He is 5'2" and plays college basketball. Like, I mean, I saw a video of this guy and I'm like, dude, he looks like a dwarf compared to all these guys. Like
Muggsy Bogues.
Like, I mean, he looked like a little kid. I couldn't believe. I mean, and granted, I'm short. I'm not dogging on him. Like, I'm 5'6" in shoes. So, like, I mean, I get it. Like, I'm not one to talk about height, but I just couldn't believe that. So that's what I'm saying. Size, if you're good and you're good at what you do, size doesn't, mean much of anything. Now, do I think that kid will probably play in the NBA? Maybe not, but you never know. So size to me doesn't mean much of anything.
No.
All about what you can do on the field. And if you're that good, then you're that good. I mean,
well, besides, he likely plays point guard, right? Obviously.
I would assume so. I mean,
the point guard is always the smallest guy anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, like I said too, look at Muggsy Bogues.
Yeah.
I mean he was small.
Yeah.
Very small.
No, I don't think that should really.
Which comment are you reading? I'll put it up.
The most recent Tyler Buckner.
Look at the last 5 quarterbacks to win national championships and compare them to Drew Pine. You need an elite quarterback to win at the highest level in 2021. Absolutely, I agree, but I just don't think that's going to be Buckner.
I mean, and you don't know until they actually get a full season of playing time. I mean, that's, we've seen glimpses, and, same with Buckner. I mean, he hasn't even taken a college snap yet. I mean, and it's not that I don't want guys to do well. Okay. And that's my thing. But I want to see what you can do first before I make an assumption one way or the other, before I say you're garbage or before I say that you're elite, and I mean, we don't know until these guys actually do something on the field. And for some of the people that are saying what they want about Cone, okay, that was him with Wisconsin. Okay, now he's with Notre Dame. Can he elevate his game at Notre Dame? Maybe. Can he not? Maybe. Not every guy can play well for a program. I hate when people are like, oh, they're a 5-star recruit. It was the Djokovic situation. Okay, clearly Djokovic did not fit our system. Clearly. Goes to Boston College and he tears it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Not every system fits every guy. And it's the same in the NFL level. I mean, there are guys that do great with one team and then get traded and then do, just absolute garbage, or vice versa. They're garbage with one team, they get traded to another team, and then they're absolutely phenomenal. I mean, not every system's built to fit every guy. I mean, look at what they did for Brady in the NFL. I mean, Brady's the greatest ever now. I mean, so yeah, it's let's wait and see for me. And, I mean, I get the hype. I do. I mean, he's an amazing kid, on and off the field, but college is a different game, just like the NFL is a different game from college. I mean, there's lots of college elites that did nothing in the pros, and there are lots of elite pros that didn't do much in college. They, got lucky to get drafted.
Yeah, exactly. And in addition to that, another angle to look at it from is this. You have to, in my opinion, you have to be very careful with freshman quarterbacks too. I mean, now maybe some schools can pull this off and start a freshman right away from the get-go, but it's the only time I think you should really throw a true freshman quarterback to the wolves is when the season is already lost. And the one example that I can think of that comes to mind for me personally is 2007, which was Jimmy Clausen's first year at Notre Dame. I mean, we could all tell from the first couple of games that it was going to be a rough year, and that was true. It was a 3-9 season. So at that point, you just say, screw it. He's our future. We're going to get him some very significant reps here. We're going to build him to be our starting quarterback.
Yeah.
That's the only time I could see you doing that with the freshman quarterback. But when you're a program that still has a lot in place and a chance to win, you take your future and you handle it with care. And the guys that are there to start, you let that bridge happen. Yeah. Which is why I think you let this happen with Jack Cohn. Let him be your starter this year. Now, of course, if we were to completely flop on the season and it be a bad season, then yeah, you go ahead and start Buckner or Pine. Take your pick on whoever. Likely, I guess depends what Coach Kelly wants to follow. Does he want to follow the hype or does he want to follow the depth?
Well, and I think like I said, I think it all starts at camp. And it all starts in the film room, and it all starts with what's actually going on behind the scenes. Because, I mean, we can see guys that say all the right things and look amazing and all that, but if they're not putting in the work and they're struggling in practice and they're having sour attitudes, I mean, because clearly Djokovic had the hype, but he just didn't produce on the practice field, and I mean, that's where you got to produce for these coaches, I mean, and, like this Buckner guy, future Heisman winner, he's saying, this guy's automatic, to be good. You don't know. I mean, you honestly don't know. None of these guys have had enough time, on the actual game field, because games are different than practice. I don't care what anybody thinks. Game speed is way different Yes, the only way to get game experience is to playing games. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly right. The only way. And that's what I believe in. The only way to know anything about anybody is to see what they can actually do when things are going. I mean, I'm a Dolphins fan, and people are already pegging Tua as a bust. Okay, well, I mean, you got to give the guy a little bit more than what he's gotten so far, and the same goes with Buckner, the same goes with Pine, the same goes with Cone. I want all those guys to do well, and if it's a situation where it's a toss up with all three, then it is what it is, so I don't know,
Yeah, no. Oh shoot, not that one.
no, it's all right. No, ninth.
I mean, no, dude. Buckner Heisman winner. We're just giving our opinions on different scenarios. We're not calling you out or anything.
Yeah, no. I mean, you're more than welcome to say that he. I mean, I hope he's a future Heisman winner. Good grief! I mean, I hope that Cone wins the Heisman this year because I mean, if you're going to win the Heisman, clearly you got your team in a winning position for a championship. So yeah, no, I hope to God that all of them are in an opportunity to win the Heisman. And that.
Dwayne.
He answered the question. Yes, ninth for 2021 recruiting. We're in the top 10. And this year is a very awesome and unique year for Notre Dame. Our opening game is against Florida State this year. I mean, so, that is a huge – and it's at Doak Campbell Stadium. I mean, this is not, you get to have your first game of the season be in Notre Dame Stadium. You're going on the road, to – in Florida. I mean, whether you agree with them or not, Florida has been a very open state when it comes to the pandemic. I would assume that Florida State will have a lot of fans in their stadium come time, for that game. So, I mean, that's going to be the loudest that these Notre Dame guys have had experience-wise for crowds and stuff in a year and a half since the pandemic started. So, I mean, you better get ready to go.
Well, and who knows? Come college football time, I mean, things could be dying down. We could have, full stadiums again. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. But but let's say.
Go ahead.
I was going to say let's say that we do have full stadiums come the fall of 2021. Let's say that happens. Okay, Florida State, they've been a program that's been down the past few years, but you know what? Still going into that stadium. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, either any scenario you look at, whether it's like as strict as you can be or not as strict as you can be, I mean, you're going to Doak Campbell, you're going to Florida State. Florida State's chomping at the bit to get better. They got a big team like Notre Dame that's been in the spotlight, for the last 10 years at this point. I mean, they're gonna bring it. So. Yeah, no, and I totally agree, Crimson Brave. Let's
get his comment up there.
It's the typical, I mean, Dolphin fans are wishy-washy. It's unless you're in the fan base, you don't really understand it and know it. But Dolphin fans, I mean, they're not happy at all with anything. And I believe it's just because they haven't won anything. Since the 70s. I mean, it is what it is.
And Craig said, "Hey Ben, did you see our boy Tua putting in the workout?"
Yeah, I mean, and he, and exactly what you're saying and what Crimson's just said. There was no like actual off season with like preseason or nothing for these guys. He comes in, he's in a few games. He did decent in a few games, and then people are comparing him to Justin Herbert, who had one of the greatest rookie seasons that we've seen in the modern era. I mean, it just that kind of stuff happens. I mean, nobody's saying that Burrow's a bust and he blew his knee out. I mean, so it's it is what it is. And
you'll like this.
Yeah, I followed Dolphins for years. Even the Table Years fans suck ass. Yeah, I mean, it's an absolute joke in the fan base. You could start Jesus Christ behind center and they'd still find something to gripe about. I mean, that's honestly what I believe. So, it is what it is. But yes, I was getting ready to say that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Brian Kelly is hard-headed when it comes to stuff like that.
Well, the best example that we've been
at the beginning of this one, and I have an opinion that I think is interesting. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, yeah, Ben and I have been through that many times, and our prime example has been Jordan Johnson, 5-star receiver out of St. Louis. He has the one scuffle in the South Florida game, and then you don't see him the rest of the season. What the hell is up with that? Get this kid on the field. Same with guys who've already been there. Braden Lindsay. I mean, was Lindsay that hurt that we didn't see him?
Right.
So you need to get these guys who can be your playmakers on the field.
Yeah. And the thing that I think, you know, is the biggest irritation for me is not even the staff not letting younger guys get experience on the field. It's the fact that Notre Dame never puts themselves in an opportunity or situation to do that. There are so many games where you should be blowing out your opponent because they are lesser than you, and Notre Dame plays them down to the wire. And if you're playing somebody down to the wire, you're not starting guys that have no experience. You know, it's not like Alabama that puts up 56 points on everybody. It's okay, you're playing overrated state or no-name state, and then it's 17-7 going into the fourth, or 17-17 going into the fourth quarter. I mean, you're not going to start a young guy if it's tied, you know, so that's my biggest frustration is, you know, they need to play up, you know, to a higher level than what they've been playing to give these guys opportunities. I mean, once you've gotten up 21 points, okay, pull your starting quarterback and start the second string. And then once he scores a touchdown or two, put in the third string. But Notre Dame ain't never in that situation. That frustrates the crap out of me.
Yeah, and we'll another point here. It really took Chase Claypool 4 years to become a superstar. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. He just wasn't given the opportunity. That's fair.
Yeah.
And he said the same thing with Miles Boykin. But I don't know, Boykin, when he got his 2 years to start, I mean, even Claypool, both those guys dominated. And plus you got to keep in mind too, there were still guys there at Notre Dame in front of them that, well, were better at the time. I mean, Will Fuller was still there.
Fuller was with Boykin, so I mean, you know, he's the guy that's going to be garnering the most attention. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it is frustrating, and you know, I don't have the answer clearly. I mean, I'm not on the coaching staff. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I wish I did. We'd have
to be a fly in the wall in those meetings.
Oh, if I did, that's for sure. but yeah, no, I don't. I have no idea. You know, and
this is another one for your Dolphins.
Receivers, no line. Yeah. I mean, you know, clearly Tua's your future. You know, clearly, you know, they took a chance. Now it's, you know, time to build around. You know, I don't know. We'll see who receiving wise they'll go after. If it's Smith or Chase, you know, I'd be happy either way. Honestly,
man, this draft for receivers is so deep. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you really can't go wrong. I mean, you know, and I'm definitely keeping an eye on all that because I have the second pick in my dynasty league this year. So for the first round, and I'm pretty darn excited about that.
All right, going pretty.
Yeah, I and that's another thing. What's going on behind? I mean, I think that's, you know, what's going on behind closed doors. But I don't know. You know, I have no idea. You know, and that game was the game that we should have won. I mean, I'll say it. People can say I'm wrong. We should have won that game. Had more than enough opportunities to win that game, and just didn't take. And both Georgia games, we had more than enough opportunities to see Notre Dame win, and they didn't take care of business. So
no, but no, our fans like to complain, but yet they're the ones selling their tickets.
Yep. Yeah, no, that Georgia game, the 2017 one at Notre Dame Stadium, a joke, an absolute joke that there was that many red jerseys. I wonder who blocked him. I was actually getting ready to have a chat with that guy.
That was me.
Oh, you did? Okay.
He'll trust me. He'll likely be coming back, so I'll give you an opportunity.
Yeah, no, that the amount of I lost my train of thought. Yeah,
You're
the
talking
amount,
about
the amount of red jerseys in that stadium was an absolute joke. I mean, I said it at the beginning of the season last year for Notre Dame. Everybody complains about we're not an elite team. We don't have an elite team. Notre Dame's not an elite team. All that. Okay, but in my opinion, Notre Dame does not have elite fans. I mean and I'll say that till I'm blue in the face. Would you see that happen at Alabama? Would you see that happen at Ohio State? Would you see that happen at Florida, LSU, Clemson, Oklahoma? Teams that have been competing for national championships since we did the CFP. I mean, would you see that at Michigan? I mean, how many times have you seen that at Michigan? I hate giving those darn guys credit, but I mean, come on, so
their fans are true to their team.
I mean, you can place blame on the team and you can place blame on this and that, and I understand that, but at the same time,
I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's the fact that our fans, that they're greedy. They just want to make a quick buck, even though they don't need to. But I remember this guy's if this guy ever sees this, he'll probably get pissed off for because he'll probably think I'm calling him out. But John from the Always Irish show, I remember he addressed this once in I can't remember if it was a video or a live stream of his, but either or, it doesn't matter. He said that because I mentioned that we had this happen with Georgia in 2017 and then Nebraska when they came there in 2000. That was the same thing. The stadium was half freaking red. And his comment was this. He goes, I think the fans are trying to say to the team and Brian Kelly, or at that time in 2000, Bob Davie, you need to prove something to us. I'm like, okay, that would make sense except for one thing. You sell your tickets to those games, but yet you go and sell out all the other games against teams like Temple and Navy and all the smaller teams, but the big games you'll sell your tickets for.
Right.
So that crap doesn't hold up. That you need to prove something to us.
Right.
We'll look at all these other teams. You look at Dwayne and Crimson Brave. Dwayne, Crimson, you guys both know that Alabama had its down years, especially the early part of this century. I mean, like during the Mike Shula years when they were under suspension. You guys remember that. I don't ever remember, even during that time, Alabama fans selling their tickets.
No. And I mean,
the opposing teams letting the stadium get taken over. And I mean, an absolute joke.
Yeah. And if you want to take it a step further, look at the NFL level. Okay. Cleveland has been how bad for how long? And I can tell you by seeing games, because I used to live in Ohio. Okay. I can tell you that when it was week 17 in the middle of a blizzard against Pittsburgh with the Browns having 2 wins and no chance whatsoever, the stadium was sold out in snow. So is that let's prove it to me situation? No, it is called undying loyalty. Period.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't hate the guy or anything, but I just thought that was a really stupid comment.
As a fan, get out of the fan base. I don't care about quote unquote truth. Okay, people are like, well, we're just truthful. We're just trying to state the obvious. We're just
you mean realists?
Yeah. And
I heard that a lot through coming up to the Rose Bowl. We're just realists. We're just realists. Well, then don't fucking watch the game. Sorry, it's PG-13. I get 1 F-bomb.
Yeah, I mean, it just, it makes my blood boil. That is one of the things that I don't care if Notre Dame goes, 0-12 5 years in a row, or goes 12-0 5 years in a row. There is nothing that will sway me either way to ever say that they will not win the game against whoever they're playing. I will always say that. Okay. And B, if I was a season ticket holder, I would not be selling my ticket ever unless I couldn't make it to the game, and I would be making sure that I'm selling it to a Notre Dame fan.
Yes, absolutely. And our friend
that was like a fan of the other team. I mean, if they're like a legit fan of the other team and someone that's like a legit diehard, like Brave and Dwayne over here,
here's your chance, Ben.
Extreme gamer. Okay, well, let's expand on this topic. You're going to pull that up. let's expand on the topic. I would like to know why. Like, give me 5 bullet points of why, and then I will, take you a little more serious. But yeah, I mean, it's that to me is, the biggest blood boil in the world.
And also what doesn't hold up about that? Oh, the fans are saying the team needs to prove something to them. Well, what about 2004? All right, or not 2004, 2008. Yeah, I think it was 2000. Yeah, 2008. We're coming off a 3-9 year. They didn't sell their tickets that year.
No,
and I'm trying to think. 2008. Who did we have come to town?
Nah, that's been a long time for me. Man, that's a long time.
I'll look it up real quick. But all I know is I don't remember anybody selling their tickets that year.
Man, Big D must have been really drunk, because it was actually me that enjoyed the company last night, not Sean.
Okay, 2008. We had Michigan come to town. We had Purdue. Okay, not bad. Stanford.
Okay, you got 1 point, Extreme. So I need 4 more from you. 4 more. We get Lou and all that, continues to own him, which I don't know how Lou technically owns him, because I mean, Georgia has been the most overrated team currently in college football, other than Michigan, maybe.
Hey, real quick, speaking of that, I'm looking at the 2008 schedule right now, and really the only big game that year at South Bend was Michigan.
Okay.
And then we had Purdue and Stanford come to town, but after that it was Pittsburgh and then Syracuse.
Yeah.
So okay, no, not like a big wow factor game, but still, I mean. What?
I already addressed it while you were talking.
Which one?
Both of them.
Oh, okay. And I don't even know where he's coming up with Dave. That doesn't even make any sense. But so yeah, I mean, yeah. So that all I'm saying is that argument by Always Irish, that with the fans needing to be proven something by the team, that's a bunch of shit. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you love your team, you go to the game. You don't sell your ticket.
Yeah,
and I guarantee. And plus, if it was the faculty, like,
well, that's even more pathetic.
Yeah, then what the hell do you need extra money for?
Well, I mean, then sell it to Notre Dame fans. I mean,
yeah, even our friend George Bashir, and also our colleague as well, he said the same thing. At least sell it to a Notre Dame fan. I mean, but no, they don't care. They're just after the money, because they know that diehards from the other team will pay it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an elite team, but not an elite fan base. And we're like I said back in the college football playoff time, only our fan base would complain about actually making it to the playoff. Okay, he also cries when Notre Dame loses.
Okay, so that's like once a year. That's not really overhyped. That's just called. I mean, you lose once a year.
And besides, I haven't even been mentioning this guy for like the last month now.
Yeah, no, I think it's hilarious when people take shots at Notre Dame like that. I mean, it's like, okay, we have what? 1 loss, maybe 2.
Well, and I will say this though,
Tyler. I mean, I totally agree with that. All the pundits never give Notre Dame any credit at all. So I mean, who's saying we're overhyped? I mean, like, if anything, Notre Dame's technically underhyped. I mean, I think that's hilarious. So okay, you got 2 bullet points. Okay, I've gotten 2 from you. So I need 3 more. So that's
well, you see,
hold on. 1, 2, 3. I need 3 more bullet points from you, dude. I'm interested to hear what else. Like, let's keep.
I have a good idea of what's going to be coming of those next bullet points if he gives any. But I just want to say this though, since it got brought up, this doesn't really bother me anymore, because I know for a fact, and Big Vol Daddy actually did this. I mean, granted, yeah, him him and Derek are still friends, I guess. But
They have a connection.
Big Vol Daddy proved that he's a liar. He exposed him completely. And plus, there's been times where, I even confronted him. I even confronted Derek on BVD's live stream, and Lou ran away when he couldn't take it. I even offered the chance to meet the guy in 2019 when I was down in Athens, and he didn't take it. I mean, you have the chance to see me face to face, and you don't take it.
Yep.
What more needs to be said? I mean, okay, yeah, you can talk all you want on a comment section, but face to face, you don't do jack shit. So that's that. As far as I'm concerned, that's where it says everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
No. I mean, would he say this stuff to my face? No.
Yeah. No, I'm waiting for 3 more bullet points though. But let's digress for a second from the college football thing and mention that
Sure.
the greatest dads of all time, if you will, died. So Mr. Gretzky, Wayne's dad, passed away a couple days ago. Very, very sad news. At least he was old. I mean, you got to understand, Gretzky is not exactly a young buck anymore. But the GOAT of the hockey world's dad has passed away. Very, very sad, nonetheless, no matter how old you are to see that happen. So we do send our condolences to the Gretzky family. Sean and I are old enough to have seen Gretzky play, and I mean,
oh come on, man! I remember on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis playing NHL 97, 95, and so on. Those are the days.
Yeah, I mean Gretzky was amazing, and as the saying goes, if you were to take every single goal that Gretzky scored, and you take that away from him, he would still be the all-time leading scorer in just assists. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. I don't think we will ever see anybody as good as him ever again. There are guys that come close. I'll give, Crosby and Ovechkin and, Kane in that realm, but, Gretzky's a step above, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, you're technically wrong, Extreme Gamer, because I actually really like Sean. So,
oh no, nobody likes me.
And right there. Oh. So, okay. So now we have, we're down to 2 bullet points. So 2 more.
No,
I need 2 more.
See, this is pathetic. These are these are insults that I would have heard back in grade school, maybe middle school. Yeah,
on the
junior high.
Too. Nobody likes you. Okay.
Nobody likes me. Oh no, I'm hurt. I'm so hurt. That really hurts me.
I mean,
oh no,
it's because of where he lives. I mean, I don't trust anybody from that neck of the woods. So,
but of course, I two more bullet points.
Yep, 2 more.
Like I said, I know what's coming. Believe me, I know. It'll probably be another parents' basement type comment or some cheap shot towards my family, which actually says a lot about the people from that camp. So, because the funny thing is I've never said anything about his family.
Yeah, it's definitely been a week, man, for deaths, and definitely been a very, very unfortunate sports world week. And then the other week we had Tiger Woods get in an accident, that likely ended his playing career. The only
they had to use the jaws of life to get him out.
Yeah, the only silver lining you can give, for Woods is that he's older, and at least it didn't happen to somebody that was a very young buck like Roy McIlroy or something like that when they're in their prime. Woods is kind of over the hill, if you will. But yeah, it's definitely sad. His son's coming though, and let me tell you, if you haven't seen his son play, holy crap, his son is amazing.
Oh yeah, yep. There's your 4th bullet point, Ben.
Okay, I'm digging these.
I know.
I think they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. No.
Woods' kid, his son. Oh my gosh! I mean, somebody, I don't know if it was the PGA, did it or not, but it might have been them. They put like a video of Woods and then his son, and like they're walking up to the tee, swing, putting, reaction to stuff. I mean, mirror images, like a mini me. I mean, granted, he's learning from his dad and he's learning from one of the greatest of all time, but I mean, uncanny like resemblance when it comes to approach in the game. I mean, if you had no idea who Woods was and you watched that, you were like, oh man, so, Craig, that is very, very sad. And I'm very sorry to hear that happened to you.
But hey, we're glad to hear that you're still here.
The jaws of life are insane, man. If you've never seen those things work, holy crap. We saved a guy when I was in Maryland, and they had to get the jaws of life to get him out. Holy crap. Those things are amazing. How that dude got where he was, I don't know. And how, he avoided. So, okay, let me give you the story since people are like, okay, well,
Sure.
what happened? So we're driving to, I agree. He does need a hug. I'm going to stop for a second. I mean, I'll give him a hug if he really wants one. I'm not opposed to giving hugs as long as it's free. Unless you're, if you'd like to pay me for a hug, I'll take money too. Anyway.
Well, hold on. You got your fifth bullet point. He's also crying that he can't find a job because he's lousy at everything. Sean, just know McDonald's is always hiring. Okay. That's funny because one, I know for a fact I've never worked at McDonald's, and two, I already have a job right now. So, and they pay pretty well. So, and no, it's not a fast food.
I'd work.
I mean, this is pathetic.
Burgers. I mean, if you're going to give me a burger every day, I'd work there. But anyway, back to the story. So
yeah.
So we're going to Washington, D.C. If you're smart, and the same goes with New Jersey or New York. If you're ever visiting New York, stay in New Jersey. You can take the Staten Island ferry to New York, and then you'll save yourself like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Same goes with D.C. So if you're ever going to D.C., stay in Maryland and then travel to the city. So we're in Maryland. We're on their highway. It's rush hour traffic. There's a guy in front of us driving a huge, it was like a Ford Explorer or something. And he went off the road. I mean, just like right off the road, and went down this embankment, and it's just like solid woods. Okay. This dude probably avoided, I'd say easily 10 trees. I don't know how he did it in an SUV that size, but he avoided all these trees. And then there were 2 trees that were like this, and he literally wedged himself between 2 trees, and he had pinned himself. And if we had not like stopped and gotten out and seen that happen, he would have either died from starvation or heat stroke because he was stuck. I mean, there was no way he would have been able to get out. And so we get out, my dad deals with him, somebody else pulled off and we got the cops called. I had no idea where we were at that point. I mean, I knew like mile markers and stuff, but I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
We're in Maryland, I don't live there. They had to get the jaws of life to get him out. It was nuts. But we saved that guy, and those jaws of life, they are no joke, man. They are no joke.
Did that guy come out unscathed, or did he have any?
Oh no, he had life injuries. His legs were real messed up.
Okay.
My dad actually, we're going to make this, a little bit over PG-13. My dad had a bunch of blood on him, if it tells you anything, just talking with the guy and holding his hand and trying to get him out and stuff. So yeah, the guy was in pretty bad shape. I don't ever know what happened to him. I hope his name's Orlando. That's all I know. I hope that he made it. I don't know. I would assume he did. But yeah, no, though, like I said, those jaws of life, no joke. They are incredible.
And it's gotta feel pretty cool knowing that you saved somebody's life.
Yeah, no, it was definitely something we'll never forget, myself and my dad, definitely. But okay, let's see where we're at. It's but come on, people don't bag groceries in grocery stores anymore. It's all going automatic to those machines. I was up in New York for the NIT tournament. That'd be cool. I've never actually been. Well, I take that back. I guess you can count it. I've been to the Orange Bowl. I went to the Orange Bowl when Kansas and yeah, yep. But yeah, I went to the Orange Bowl when Kansas and Virginia Tech played. But yeah, I've never been to like any playoff of anything other than the Orange Bowl. So yeah, it'd be cool to go to the NIT or the NCAA tournament, and all that. But
Of course, I was 2013. I was down in Florida for the national championship game, but I didn't get in. I didn't get inside. I didn't get inside, so I don't know if that counts or not.
no, you're down there. It's the atmosphere. I give you that. But yeah, no. We don't talk too much about that season. Not too much.
But yeah,
we'll give major props to Dwayne and Crimson Brave.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not something I like to talk about. That was a pretty rough.
Yeah, it was a bad night. Very bad night.
But you know what? I mean, in most teams' defense, in most everybody else's defense too. Most teams that play Alabama in the postseason have pretty rough nights, and there's only been a couple that have been able to best Alabama in the postseason, and that's Utah, Oklahoma, and most recently Ohio State. And Clemson. I take that back, Clemson. So I mean, that's only like 5 out of how many times? So yeah, you got to give credit where credit's due in that situation. So.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Ben? Do you think this guy sounds like Derek?
Maybe, I don't know. Orange Blob.
November. So he's talking about the presidential election.
Like Orange Blob.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is, could Derek make it any more obvious that this is him?
I mean, it might be him. You never know.
Well, all these insults that I'm seeing, they're all things that he said to me in private. So
Sean can't handle that the Orange Blob lost in November. The Orange Blob.
He's talking about Donald Trump because he's orange and the spray tan.
Yeah. But did he really lose though? Like, I don't care what side of the political spectrum you are on. Okay, let's stop for a second. Okay. Have you seen his wife? Like, have you seen her? Like, do you really lose in life if that's what you go home to? Like, I mean, if I was president and I had her and I'm like, oh, I lost. Okay, I get to go home to that sucker, tonight. And guess who's getting sympathy sex tonight? Like, I mean, am I wrong here? Like, so yeah, no, I don't think he lost at all in any situation.
Or billions of dollars in your bank account. I mean, yeah, I'd be a pretty happy loser in that case.
Yeah, that's just a crying shame, man.
See, I don't want to go any further than that because I usually keep the politics for
yeah. I mean, and I've kept it very neutral right there too. So.
I'm just saying there's a bunch of stuff I could say about that, but
yeah, well, I mean, you just want to look at personal life right there. I mean, shoot, so yeah, I wouldn't be crying about nothing. So yeah. I'm sorry, Derek. If you want to come on, there's the link to the stream. I mean, we do this every time, but none of them ever come on. You both seem triggered that Notre Dame gets blown out a lot. So what counts as a lot? Like once a year, if that? I mean, so yeah, I wouldn't count that as a lot. I went to the Aloha Bowl over Christmas. The QBs were Trent Diffler and Krell Stewart.
Trent Dilfer and Cordell Stewart.
Yeah, I knew who you're talking about, Colorado. Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. I wish I could have gotten to see Cordell in action. He was pretty amazing, not gonna lie. But
to be fair, I think when Notre Dame loses, I think we both handle it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, and they don't get blown out too much.
Life moves on.
I mean,
life moves on, man. I mean, if I let a loss determine how my life goes, then I have some serious problems.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, let me think. So the last really blowout, because he's got me thinking about blowouts now. The last blowout would be Miami. And that was 2017, 2018, 27, 20.
Miami was bad, but
No, Miami.
The next year Miami was in 2017 that game, but the last blowout, if you want to technically, was Clemson in the Cotton Bowl. It was a 27-point loss.
And then the ACC championship.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. But I would say at the ACC championship and the Rose Bowl against Alabama were much better performances than
we're used to
at than that Cotton Bowl.
Yeah,
but I'd say the last actual blowout was definitely that Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, and then the one after that would be Miami, and that was 20.
Miami was before that.
Yeah,
that was 2017.
Yeah, before. But yeah, no, yeah, and you know what? That if you're gonna go, okay, look how many times somebody's been blown out. Okay, well, Alabama's been blown out. Okay, Clemson has been blown out. Clemson got blown out by Ohio State. I mean, okay, it happens. It happens to everybody. I mean,
yeah. Craig says the best here. I get mad when Indy or the Dolphins lose.
The Dolphins lose a little more than Notre Dame. I mean, they're on the up and up, and I'll give them that. But, I got a big topic that we need to talk about before we end the stream, dude. The Russell Wilson situation. How many people have been paying attention to the Russell Wilson situation? So I know
the Bears are involved.
I brought this up to him in private. So Russell Wilson has a number of teams that if Seattle doesn't want him, that he could potentially go to, and the Bears are one of them. So, people are like, what about Green Bay? I mean, they got Aaron Rodgers and they got Jordan Love. I mean, I get like where people are going with it because of Wisconsin, because he played there and all that. But, I would have seen J.J. Watt go to Green Bay before I'd see Russell Wilson going to Wisconsin or to Green Bay.
Well, very quickly, since you brought that up, what did you think about J.J. Watt going to the Cardinals?
That was out of left field, man. Going to the Cardinals? Holy crap. They have some deal with the Texans. I don't know what they've done. I don't know, like, if they got dirty pictures on somebody in that organization or what. But, like, they get Hopkins from the Cardinals, and now they get J.J. Watt from the Cardinals. Like, what the heck is going on over there? But, J.J. Watt stays near the border. Georgia never gets blown out. Okay, yeah, let's take a look at just this most recent season. But anyway, J.J. Watt with the Cardinals. I mean, I know he's towards the twilight years of his career, but, you'll definitely be having people double team him. So that'll open up other guys to go after the quarterback. So, I mean, the Cardinals get some, awesome new toy in J.J. Watt. And now you have a potential, and I'm not saying it'll happen, but you do have the potential to have a Watt Brothers Super Bowl.
That would be awesome.
Pittsburgh, and you could see the Cardinals playing each other in a rematch.
I know our good buddy Big Ball Daddy's a big time Cardinals fan. I haven't really.
I texted him and asked him, dude, holy crap, how excited are you? And all that. So, yeah, no, that was crazy. But back to the Wilson thing. So, what do you think, Sean?
Well, okay, yeah, Georgia never gets blown. I was trying to put up Craig's comment. Craig says, so Extreme Gamer, who's your favorite team? Craig, this Extreme Gamer is Uncle Lou under a troll account. So if that says anything. Yeah, I think it is him.
Yeah. But yeah,
the guy's a loser. He has nothing else better to do.
He does get blown out. Okay, so
go back to what you were saying.
Tell me what you think about Wilson, and then I'll answer Craig's comment.
Obviously the Bears have been at the forefront of this rumor, and I would love for it to happen. I mean, Russell Wilson still has a lot of gas left in the tank, but it's
hard to tell.
It's hard to tell because I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to pay an awful lot to get him. You're definitely talking at least 2 first-round picks, probably a key player, most likely on the defense. And the thing is, with any good quarterback, you have to have the right stuff in play. And if you can't get someone like Allen Robinson re-signed, and if your offensive line, which our offensive line has a lot of problems right now, I don't know. It's a tough call. I mean, I'd love to have Russell Wilson, but I just think the Bears are missing a few pieces in place to have him there. And again, you're going to have to give up a lot to get him. But then again, at the same time, with our track record, or at least recent track record of first round picks, why not?
Yeah.
And that's my comment.
I mean, you got the running back in place. You got a decent receiving core. Line's okay. I mean, but he's got legs. So, I mean, if he needed to get out of trouble, he could.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, it would be a better fit than some of the other guys that could come. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting. It'd be cool to see him. I've always loved Wilson. I was saying he was going to be a star before he even hit the NFL. People thought I was nuts. And then he wins the Super Bowl the way he did. I'll let the rest be history. But heard Juju wants to come to Miami. That would be interesting. I get a little nervous with that only because I kind of in Sean's boat. I don't know how much you would have to give up for Juju. And he's a little bit of a distraction in my opinion. And I think Miami has had enough experience and woes with distraction. I mean, you can name a handful of guys right off the top of your head if you're a Miami fan that have been distractions at Miami. So, I don't know. I mean, he is proven, and all that. I get it. And Claypool has taken his spotlight and his workload, and I get it. But I don't know. I mean, if it happened, I wouldn't be mad. Let's say that. But I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical with it. So.
Well, all I know is things are going to get interesting on Tuesday because that's when NFL teams can start putting the franchise tag on guys, and then of course, the new year league starts on the 17th. So it's going to be really interesting to see what guys do. And Craig says that Juju is a free agent.
Well, what I mean is, how much are you going to give up for him? Okay, well, how much money? I mean, are you going to be willing to give him? I mean, and he's going to want a bunch. I mean. We've seen big guys get pretty big contracts in recent years. The market's going up for all that. So that's a lot of cap space you probably have to give up for one guy. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, of course Craig does. He wants Allen Robinson.
Who wouldn't? I mean,
the guy's been phenomenal, especially to be as good as he has with the way the Bears offense has been. Who wouldn't want him? Yeah. Maybe so, Crimson Brave. But the thing is, all the stuff that this guy's been saying to me is stuff that Derek has said to me behind the scenes. Every single comment. But you're right, though. You're right. I mean, I just posted the link to the stream here, so this guy could easily come on if he wants to. Prove me wrong. I hope he does.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's just the history of it. I mean, this guy also mentioned the election, and on my other channel, me and another friend of mine, Syracuse and Buffalo Sports, we had an election night live stream, and all these single comments I've heard. So I would put money that this is Derek behind a fake account. I mean, the guy lives on YouTube. So why wouldn't he create troll accounts?
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
So,
but anyway, yeah. How much more you got, Sean?
Well, I know I was just going to finish up that last thought by saying, whether this guy is him or not, grow a pair of balls and come on the show. I mean, that's the thing that they never come on. They get their opportunity and they never come on. And why do I think that is? Because I think I'm right. Yeah. So yeah, I think we covered pretty much everything for this week. I don't really have anything else. But all I can say is I went to see Rodney Carrington this past Friday night. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I hear he's pretty funny.
Oh, the guy's hilarious. I don't want to repeat everything. I can't really. We try to keep this channel clean, but let's just say he had a really interesting joke about getting COVID and losing his sense of smell and taste.
Yeah,
and he had a funny comment about Joe Biden too. But like I said, I don't want to really get political on this channel. I'll save that for my own channel.
Yeah.
So, is there anything you'd like to add, Ben?
I got nothing, man. We covered just about everything I wanted to cover. March
So
is coming. We'll be doing some more stuff with that later.
So the last couple things from our regular viewers, our honest ones. So Craig, Crimson, Dwayne, if you're still here, anything you guys want to add? And I guess Craig he wanted to ask this.
I have no idea what he's even talking about. To be honest with you, I didn't hear anything with Creighton's coach. So
didn't he make some? I think he made some racial comments, didn't he? Is that what you're talking about, Craig? 'Cause I thought I read something in the news about that too, but I don't know exactly what it was that he said. I just really saw the headline. But if he did, I mean, how stupid. Yeah, we're just about done, so I'm going to go ahead and block this latest troll account of Derek's. But it's so stupid. I mean, you know that there's cameras and reporters around everywhere. You know what the landscape is like politically, with everybody waiting and watching for everything that you're going to say. If he did make some racial remark, why would you say that? But let me look it up real quick since we're still
on. I see what he said. Yeah, that's kind of, I don't care who you are, that's in poor taste. He said, to other players, stay on the plantation. Yeah, I'll say that.
Oh my, are you serious? Why would how stupid?
I don't care if you're trash talking another team. There are certain things you don't say, period, and that's one of them. I just, there's no place in the game for that. There's no place in modern society for that.
Unbelievable.
I just, that's not okay.
Well, like I just said, with the way the society is right now and how crazy everybody is getting, basically calling everything racist, this, that, wanting to cancel culture, the woke crowd, you name it, what I'm talking about here. Right. Anything you want. With as crazy as this society is getting, you don't say that stuff. I mean, how stupid do you have to be to not get that?
Yeah, you don't say that. I don't care what it is. I don't care who it is. I don't care any of that, in poor taste, in my opinion. Just,
I mean, there was a situation, I remember this. This was actually involved about the World Wrestling Entertainment, but I don't know how many people followed wrestling, but I remember a few years ago, Michael P.S. Hayes, who was part of the legendary tag team, the Fabulous Freebirds, he was working for the WWE at the time, and there was this tag team there called Crime Time, a couple of black dudes, and I get what he made the comment to these guys. I guess there was something going on behind the scenes that Hayes was getting treated badly or something. So he goes up to Crime Time and he says to them, quote, "Man, they're treating me like I'm not going to say the word, but they're treating me like a N-word, just like you guys." And I get what he was trying to say.
But you don't say stuff like that.
You just say, "Man, they're treating me." You say, "Man, they're treating me as bad as you guys," but you don't say it that way.
Yeah, no. And it's the same situation. It has no place. You never say something like that. I don't ever want to hear that. That's not okay. No place in any facet of the world, any time of our universe and our, thing. No. Sorry, no. Yep. But we'll end it like that. So
actually, one thing I would like to say too, and this is not a political statement, but if people would quit obsessing with color, then maybe that would just stop. The whole color issue would stop. The whole race issue would stop. But no, people want to keep feeding into it regardless of which side you're on. That's the problem. So, does that make sense? I mean, I say that in a good way, not like, yeah. So, yeah. Anything else you want to add, Ben? I think I'm just about out.
I got nothing on nothing. It's been an awesome show. Thank you for everybody that came out. Even the guys that wanted to poke some fun. I'm always down to have some fun.
You mean Derek, right, Ben?
Yeah, if it is.
like I said, if it's not him, prove me wrong. Come on the show. So
I work, my job. I hear everything. We all give each other shit. I have real thick skin. You ain't gonna offend me.
yeah.
You ain't gonna. Nothing I haven't heard. I mean, I played sports too. I mean, I played against people. I've been called every name under the sun. I care about, maybe 3 or 4 people's opinions, and you ain't one of them. So whatever.
Yeah. No, that guy's just a tool.
So anyway, yeah, I got nothing.
And like you heard me say weeks ago, as long as I know that my family's okay, and I can get past that.
Yeah.
But that just shows a sign of him and the rest of the people in that camp. So, like I said a long time ago, consider the source. But at this point, when you're able to just have fun with it, like I know you want to, Ben, but myself personally, I'd prefer not to. But
I don't care either way. I mean,
yeah.
So I kind of look at it as like ESPN does. Any kind of comment you send to me, I take as I can use it. In my show. So, if you're giving me consent, quote unquote, to use your comment in my show, then let's have fun with it.
All right. Well, to all our regulars who constantly give us support, Dwayne, Craig, Crimson Brave, we're starting to see you around. Carnivore, I don't know where the hell he went. The Buckner fan, thank you guys for watching.
Just watching from afar, and that's okay too. You don't always have to comment as long as you're watching.
Yep. So, all right. Well, on that note, I'm ND Sean 45.
I'm Irish Benjamin 57.
God bless, good night, and go Irish.
Go Irish.